it seems to me that if you're a compassionate person, the more compassionate you are, the more you're likely to negotiate on the other person's behalf rather than yours. Like, say we're in a negotiation, and maybe optimally, especially if we were going to negotiate a repeated number of times, maybe we'd hope that we'd try to set up a situation where it was 50% for you and 50% for me, you know, depending on what we were pursuing. But if I'm compassionate, then I'm going to skew towards you. And if I'm the opposite of that, whatever that is, harsh maybe, or callous is one way of looking at it, but that seems to be an extreme version of not compassionate, then it's like, well, you can stick up for yourself and I'll stick up for me, and if it's 70-30 me to you, well, you know, straighten up and see if you can negotiate a little more effectively next time. So I think it's useful to think about it as a negotiating strategy. And then I also think it's useful to think about when a negotiating strategy where the other person wins more often than you do might be particularly useful. And this will shed shade into our discussion of gender differences. I think that's particularly true when you're dealing with infants, because the infant has to be right all the time. And so I want you to keep that in the back of your mind when you're, and maybe that broadens out, and it would make sense with regards to compassion. Maybe that just broadens out into care for those who need care, and then maybe that broadens out even farther into care for everything, you know. And it isn't obvious to me that care for everything is a good strategy. But care for infants is a good strategy, and care for people who need care is a good strategy. So anyways, that's compassion.